we've got Twitch reveals.
We're going to the prison of elders.
Bungie. 3 weeks only. See him on Twitch. Beat that challenge of elders with Crucible Radio.
Clearly, this episode is going to feature a lot of new content.
1 weekend only. Trials. Actually, every weekend. Radio.
Oh, that must be Swain. Swain, how's it going?
I'm doing all right, Birds. How are you, Bones?
Yeah, you were going to ask me how I was
I
doing,
don't want
but
to
it's
know
not
how
my
you're doing,
turn
Birds.
yet.
We got a routine here, man. We got a routine. I am doing great. I come next.
It's only been 41 episodes.
Yeah, figure it out. And now
Birds.
you asked me.
Birds, I was going to ask you just now. I was going to ask you.
I know.
It was
I
Swain
know.
that messed it up. Birds, how are you doing?
I think it might have been me that messed it up. I'm doing good. I mean, all things considered, doing good. And in terms of Destiny, in terms of the world of Bungie, also doing pretty good. The flow, the spice is flowing.
Back
again.
at it.
Hey, congrats to us. 41 episodes.
The big 41.
The big 41. In podcasting world, that is the most significant number to reach. And I just want to give ourselves a pat on the back. Birds, Swain, it's been great working with you since episode 0. And that's 0 to 41, man. What a ride.
Yep, 42 to 82. It's when the magic happens. Or maybe 0 to 41 was the magic, and now it's just downhill from here. Whatever. In any case, you're listening to Crucible Radio.
The podcast for all things Destiny PvP.
That's us. Welcome back. Yet another week.
But hey, there's some new stuff coming out, and we want to let our PvE flags fly because,
Some news.
contrary to popular belief, we do enjoy strikes, story missions, endgame content that's not trials. We love it all, and we've got some sweet stuff coming out.
We once did an episode about it, and it took us like a month to put it out.
One time.
Yeah. To be perfectly honest, I really just play PvP, but I get into some PvE every now and then. I like it, and we saw a new Twitch reveal. They got their Twitch studio, they got their new Twitch content, and we got to look at the new refurbished Prison of Elders.
The refurbished reef. Well, sort of.
It's still the reefiest. And we've got a date. Oh, we've got a date on 4/12/2016. It's arriving.
So excited. So soon. It's coming quick.
So soon.
I just want to say that the actual graphic for the April update, the sort of cover image they're using, is so beautiful. I love having a new phone background. It just looks so cool, and it's really hinting at some what seems to be some pretty awesome new gear, and I guess we'll get to that. But this is the main thing, right? This is Prison of Elders remix, the Taken remix, Sprite remix, and
Taken edition.
we're going in there. It's going to be level 41 and level 42, right?
Yeah.
It goes all the way up there.
There's two of them. There's the Prison of Elders is now going to have a level 41 mode. And Challenge of Elders is going to be level 42.
Challenge of Elders, in addition to being Prison of Elders, is also like some kind of crazy scavenger hunt slot machine number calculation, point calculating and gathering metagame as well. All about those points. You see my point build?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Flaunt my points.
Honestly, the point scoring system is the most appealing aspect of this to me because, well, two things. I guess, one, I have now something to reach for, and I can feel good about being the one to get the most kills in PvE because I'll be totally honest, my experience in strikes, especially if I'm just matchmaking, is often getting 200 more kills than anyone else, and I feel like I'm just doing all the work. And that's fine because I can do it. It's not that hard, and I enjoy that. But now I've got this thing where I can just be like, dang, I beat my high score. look at me, man, I crushed it. And then everyone else is going to be wanting some points. That's the other thing is like, wait, no, there's scores in this? I got to look good. And people will really push really hard to
let me kill that shank.
Exactly. And you'll see teams working very hard, not just to survive and get through it, but to be the best at doing so. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, looks like Guardians will have a new path to reach the highest light level of 335 through the Challenge of Elders. Where else can they get to 335 light year?
Well, they can get an artifact from the Court of Oryx, which is maybe not something I'm going to be sprinting off to do immediately. But hey, it's good to know that I can get an artifact from there.
I like the Court of Oryx. It's a good way of getting Wormspore that you can sell to your factions. Well, ranking up my factions if you still need to get that exotic. But
some people are soldiers and other people are merchants.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go kill some stuff, but really just give me the loot to sell to my boss.
Give me the materials that I can then give to...
proud of me. I have to admit, I'm just excited that there's lots of ways to get to max light. I mean, as it stands right now, you really just have a couple options. You can do the raid, of course. You can do trials, and you can do Iron Banner when it comes around. But it's nice to know that there's just other ways to approach it. You can do Court of Oryx. You can do Prison of Elders, sort of depending on how many people you want to play with and what your preferences are, sort of what your skill level is, what you're good at. You're not just tied to grinding out the raid. So I'm happy to see that. I like having options. And like when things like Sparrow Racing League came around, it's like, okay, I can get a 320 helm. I'm going to get 320 helms for all of my characters while this is here. Just stock up.
So I really liked that when you do the Challenge of Elders and you complete the it looks like a trials ticket. But for the Prison of Elders, if you complete the high and cumulative scores, you're guaranteed a weapon or a piece of armor that is max light.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome that you just know that you're going to come away with a good piece of gear. I mean, that's why I really kind of got turned off by the raid. As much as I loved the mechanics of it, it was like, oh, cool, I didn't get a primary this time. Okay, why was I here for 3 hours? Like, but I'll do it if I'm getting stuff. This is a looty shooty after all.
There was some other changes too that I really liked. It was the engrams dropping inside the prison, and you could complete bounties in there as well. So it's a good way to finish off leveling up a subclass or just knocking some experience out for the day.
Yeah, I still have PTSD from my year one Prison of Elders. Like, I don't know if you guys remember. Listeners who've been listening since the beginning maybe remember my struggle to get a Her Benevolence. Finally, with 1 month left in year one, I finally got my hands on a Her Benevolence. But I mean, there was nothing more frustrating than grinding out the Prison of Elders, using your precious treasure key, which you had to go and do bounties to collect, making it all the way and getting not my Her Benevolence. Maybe sometimes not even a gun at all.
But no more treasure keys, though. They're out
no
the
more
window.
treasure keys.
Thank God.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping for like 6 more materials and currencies. I was thinking maybe we could convert Glimmer to euros. That'd be cool.
Some people are soldiers. Other people are economists.
To be clear, that is not me.
Yeah.
No.
You know who you are, listener.
Single listener that loves the currencies.
And maybe also loves Thorn doing your economics. Anyways, pretty cool. And we also in the course of the Twitch reveal, we got to see a little bit of that new gear, in particular, new sniper rifle. We got to see drop.
How lucky is that they got a weapon to drop, and they dropped the most like important one that everybody will talk about.
Do you think it was luck?
Nah, maybe.
I personally believe they just said, let's get the sniper rifle to show.
Let's see it.
I mean, kind of suspected, yeah.
I'm going with luck, but having the sniper rifle drop for them and seeing that it was a high impact sniper rifle, even better.
How amazing would it have been if they did the Prison of Elders and then 1,000-yard stare dropped?
the package with the perfect roll, and they're like, oh, let's just shard it.
Ah!
Yep, this one's got Firefly too.
It's just the quest roll. So it's a high impact sniper, which means it can revive snipe in the Crucible, which people will be very excited to hear because, yes, it seems like everyone's using the same gun out there if they are sniping. That's pretty cool. I'm really excited to mix it up, even if we can infuse guns that I've been using. I just want some new stuff. But I did notice, and a lot of people did too, it's only got 2 scope nodes.
Ooh.
And that, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that.
Well,
Each scope node is a chance to get the one scope that everybody wants, or maybe the 2 that are clearly the best. There's some crazy people out there who love view tack, but yeah, you see a lot of ambush love, you see a lot of short gaze love, and with just 2, you wonder sort of what the possible scopes that can roll are. And hope we don't get stuck with like a long view SLR 20 and something else.
it would be cool though if they did limit it to 2, that the 2 were like, here's your high zoom option and here's your low zoom option. That way it's not like the 3, slot machine that we have now.
I feel like with some of the Haka snipers, that's sort of the configuration they use. Like, granted, they're not the scopes we know and love. There are Haka specific ones that we don't know and maybe we also hate.
Scared.
But they tend to have a theme for each one of the slots. So, yeah, I mean, and having a bit of that reliability there is nice to sort of, to know you'll have at least one of each. Interesting to see how that works.
Yep. And then we get this little chroma thing, and who knows what that could be.
Who knows?
I do
They
like
got
in
all,
the
they got all sneaky with it.
the picture in the TWAB that they have that you're talking about, Bones. There's some very neat weapons here. The sword.
Oh, everything looks so cool.
And a gun that are taken colored. That's cool. The armor's like got this weird shader to it. There's a taken shader. It looks like. Oh,
there's
so cool.
like 600 images from Game Informer out there now, and I can't even keep track of what's real and what I imagined. But there's these guns that have like fallen symbols on them. Like the house symbols. They look so interesting, and there's definitely
like a hand cannon that the warlock's holding. Yeah,
it just looks. I'm very curious about that, but I love changing up my look and getting a new piece of armor and showing it off and stuff. I'm so happy about that. You know what else I'm really happy about? And
what's that?
This is just a little thing. I'm gonna get to reconnect with my buddy Varix.
Yes.
I'm so excited. He was honestly one of my favorite characters in the Taken King content. Even with this big story about Oryx, his side quest about hunting down the remaining wolves and that kind of research and stuff. And honestly, I really enjoyed that one. And I loved when he kind of, in his own weird way, said we were friends at the end of it. I just thought that was adorable. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to go visit my buddy again.
He's our Yoda. Sort of talks backwards. Seems kind of disinterested in us at the same time as praising us for doing well.
Steals our food before we know who he is.
Yeah, raises our X-Wings out of the Dagobah swamp.
Well, there was two other things that they revealed during their Twitch stream. They have 2 strikes that are coming our way. A new one and a revamped one that we will finally get to hear. A cell for the Prison of Elders.
It's back.
I honestly
feel like
forgot that existed.
Yeah, right.
That was like a Family Guy joke where like you heard it so many times it stopped being funny, and then it started being funny again, and then it like a nightfall happened and it really stopped being funny.
Guardian.
And then when no one heard it for a while.
Guardian. Hey, Guardian.
It's back.
Guardian. Hey.
What?
It's a cell from the Prison of Elders.
I am not looking forward to the fact that this Archon priest is going to have some sort. Well, not the fact, but he will probably have that blinding shooty bubble thing.
Oh man, if he's just a giant captain.
Yeah, he's just gonna shoot that at you the whole time, and that's when you hold triangle and go to orbit and say.
What do you call that? What's the phrase for getting hit by that blindy
the
bubble?
shooty blindy bubble.
Shooty blindy bubble?
Yeah, in the looty shooty.
I will.
Blindy bubble.
Don't get shootied by the looty shooty game.
We're gonna have to get like We're going to have to get John Wisniewski back on here because he has both an internal name for it that they made up and an unofficial name or like a lore-specific name that neither of us we know. So Shooty Quiet Bubble, Blindy Bubble.
Shooty Quiet Bubble. My favorite.
Yep. Oh, just the best.
Well, that's all the stuff that we at least know of now. There are 2 more streams. I guess we're learning more about the stuff we're going to acquire next week. And hopefully that gives us some more tastes to what we might be using in the Crucible. And then
because like the thing is, I love acquiring stuff so much. The best.
I'm hoping next week's stream is just like straight from the tower. They just kind of putz around each faction guy and see what they have. Kind of look at what the new tower will be.
Some of us are shooties, some of us are looties.
Some of us are both.
And both.
Nothing wrong with that. Totally normal, totally healthy. To be honest, the thing I want, like, look, if we get some new guns and, they like, let's say they introduce a dozen new guns, there's going to be like 1 to 3 that the PvP community will identify as being acceptable, and then everyone will be angry because they only get killed by that. But for real, what I'm looking for is just hopefully a vendor armor reset so I can like finally complete some of these builds. Like getting disciplined strength with hand cannon reload and sniper ammo on my Night Stalker, like the tribulations and mostly the trials to try and make it all the way there just can't be done.
Well, I know I'm having trouble finding a scout rifle reload arms for my Titan that have intellect and discipline. Know where I'm hoping to find one of those?
Where's that?
Iron Banner control this upcoming week.
It's back.
It's the reward. It's arms.
Arms, baby.
Arms and chest. Never
We
skip
do have
arm day.
Iron Banner coming back. And guess what? It's control.
In Iron Banner fashion, if there ever was.
Control?
It's so control.
No. That's the one people want. No.
Okay.
You're supposed to get mad at Clash or Rift, and in Control, we can just be happy.
Right, because as much fun as it is playing 6v6, what I really like is playing 6v6 on B point the entire game. Really, it simplifies it, just narrows it down.
Yeah.
I know B, I kill people there, I
you
die
swap
there. It's
sides.
the whole circle of life.
It's like, all right, we're
You
on
can't expect me to
A.
go all over the map. What do I look like, Superman?
But we got some chess pieces back around.
Got the
We've
hand
got the
cannon.
hand cannon and the machine gun.
Yeah. It's good loot. It'll be before the update, so any changes they'll do will not be applied. You're going to have to wait for the next Iron Banner.
But hey, it's good stuff to kill some time while we're waiting, because I know I want to play Destiny more with new content coming up, and then I get on and I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't get to do it yet, and I will love having some stuff to grind away at while I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the last Iron Banner. I got 2 of my guys to rank 5, so I'm definitely going to jump in again this week.
Yeah, I missed out on the Titan arms, and bragging a little bit, but those PS4 exclusive ones are pretty dope, and I'm hoping for a pair of those.
So as we're scrolling down through this TWAB, and I get to the very end here, and find out that I got honorable mention for Moment of the Week with my
Crucible Radio represent.
montage.
Swaintage.
Yeah.
Solar flare.
Keeping it flary.
Oh, man. I've watched your montage so many times. Just gets me so hyped.
I've said it before. I've watched it like at least 20% of the views that are on the video are just me watching it. Like, ooh. But real shout out to Greenie from Green and Gold Editing. He's the real talent behind the montage. I just provided the clips. So thank you, Greenie, for making this happen.
You want a green gold montage? Get in touch with us, and we'll put you in touch with him.
Or hit him up on Twitter
Hit him up on Twitter. Is he on Twitter now?
at G&G Editing.
There you go.
Edits.
Well,
Is it
there you
edits? Oh boy.
It's one of those. Check them both. He's probably one.
You're welcome for the plug, man.
We put a full G&G, G and G,
G
green and
G
gold.
Edit. That's the Twitter.
G&G edit. Gand get it.
Can't get it.
Check him out at gandgetit.com. I don't know why I picked that one,
What
but
a plug.
our old friend Gand. Gand get it.
Can't wait for my emblem.
But yes, oh man, what a weekly update, a good Twitch reveal. Obviously, in 2 weeks from now, we'll have some Crucible conversations.
Woo!
We are biding our time, waiting to hear what's going to be revealed, and we will have a very long, thorough discussion on that sort of stuff. You might even hear from someone from Bungie, who knows? And we'll be digging in once that comes out. That's obviously the one that we're most stoked for. Hey, speaking of montages, Swain, I see you using that thorn still. Are you still sleeping well at night?
Well, Bones, I'm sleeping pretty darn well thanks to today's sponsor, Casper Mattresses. And now you can get $50 towards any mattress purchase by going to casper.com/crucible and using code Crucible. Listen, you spend about a third of your life sleeping on a mattress. And if you're like me, it's more like 2/3. So let's make sure you're doing it on a good mattress. Casper brings together two comfy technologies, latex foam and memory foam, and it provides me just the right amount of sink and just the right bounce no matter how I sleep. They've got a risk-free trial and return policy, and they'll deliver it straight to you. You can try it for 100 days, and if you're not happy, they'll pick it back up. Don't waste your time traveling to the mattress store to spend a minute or two on each mattress. Get yourself a Casper and actually sleep on it. It's $500 for a twin-size mattress and $950 for a king-size mattress. Comparing that to industry averages, that's an outstanding price point. So get $50 towards any mattress purchase today by going to casper.com/crucible and using code Crucible, CRUCIBLE. Terms and conditions do apply.
So we got posed a question this week from a listener who had never been to the Lighthouse before, wanted to know how to get to the Lighthouse. And, you can definitely climb the ranks in trials. You get a couple more wins, your team gets a little bit tighter, you get a little bit farther along. But getting to the Lighthouse doesn't happen on accident. So let's talk a little bit about sort of what it takes, what you got to do, or maybe what you got to avoid doing if you want to get to that 9-win ticket with no losses and see the glory that is the Lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like I could kind of speak to this because a year ago when House of Wolves came out and I started playing Crucible and I started taking it seriously and playing trials, I probably spent at least a month or so like frustrated every single weekend that I was just like not able to get there. And I had a friend that we would just keep trying. It'd be two of us and we would be picking up our third and just constantly having the hardest time trying to get to the Lighthouse. So improvement in your game is just the beginning of your trips to the Lighthouse. Now, me and Bones carrying new people to the Lighthouse over the weekends.
Yeah.
So it just takes practice on the skill side, but there's other things that you can do.
Yeah. Well, I think at this point, what's really important, because it's been a while since Trials is out, and I really do feel for the people who are still trying to make it there on their own. And if you've been carried, if you want to raffle in chat, that's awesome, because I think that's a super fun experience. And, you get to play with someone you admire watching, and they get to help you out, and you learn from them. That's a really good learning experience. But if you're trying to do it yourself, or you want to get your two best friends, I would, at this point, don't put it too high on a pedestal at this point, because I think that can really start to happen when you just sort of feel like, well, man, I'll never get there. Or that's like, that's for the elite and stuff like that. It's super, super attainable. You just got to kind of relax a bit about it and just get in there and lighten up and just say like, I got this. Let's go. It's no big deal.
It'll also influence your, the game 7, game 8. If you're constantly thinking like, we're almost there, or, it's going to start to affect you.
Oh yeah. Like this one means the most.
You don't want to end up like taking your, bringing your team down, or like being upset with one of your teammates when, they make a mistake. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes, someone gets a really good snipe on one of your teammates, and you don't want the positivity to go away. You want to keep the energy up. You want to keep everybody happy, keep everybody focused on the end game.
Yeah, and the reason I say that you don't want to, think of it as some glorified achievement too much is because anything can happen. And the guys that are on their channels and grinding out carries and stuff like that, they're losing rounds once in a while. They'd go a game down and they use their mercies. And sometimes, you just don't get it on the first try and you start over and you get out there and you got just a better hand dealt to you for those 7 or 9 games. It happens to me all the time. I was like, oh, hey, I played nightly this run. Sorry.
It was like the second game in, right?
Yeah, and it just happens. It was actually funny. I gave him a hard time, and I think I made him feel bad. But I want you to know, Nightly, that that was a fun experience for me, and it was great to watch a team work so well together. And I turned around to my teammates and said, "See how they push together?" And we just employed that on the next team. It was awesome. It just happens where some games don't go well. Many a time I've been sniped at the beginning of a round, and I feel like I have just let my team down so hard by being that insta kill, and it just happens. You get in there again, you go back at it, and you play another 7 games and you win it.
I don't think anyone's gameplay has ever been improved by thinking, oh man, I better not mess this up. Oh, this is really the one. No mistakes, no mistakes. But that being said, I think I've found that there are things you can do consciously to improve your odds. I know one really big challenge for me is that Trials is a pretty small, or just the elimination game mode in general is a pretty small percentage of the amount of Crucible I play. And I play a lot of Rumble, I play a lot of Skirmish. And in those game modes, it becomes not a big deal to die because, you can just smash that square button and you're back in the action. In elimination, dying, and especially dying out of position, is such a huge blow to your team as a whole. You've put them down a person, that it can help to sort of just take a different sort of approach that is maybe a little more conservative. If I'm playing Rumble, I'm going to be jumping over every box with a shotgun. That might not be the best approach when you're getting up there in that Trials ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we talked about it a little bit last week when we were analyzing our game footage, but I think one of the best things to improve your Trials ticket as you are going through games, as you're going through different rounds in the game, is to notice habits. Notice your habits, notice your enemy's habits, especially. I think Asylum really shows this off real well because of how it's laid out. A lot of teams will repeatedly go to the top area immediately. Everyone rushes to that B spot and throws grenades, and it becomes this Sparta-like clash in the middle. And something you can take away from that is that if they're doing that every single round, 3 rounds straight, your enemy is doing that, you can take that into the 4th round and be like, all right, well, I know there's a good chance that they're going to run straight to the top. Is there a reason, is there something I can do? Is there a flank I can possibly exploit on them? Me and Bones were playing some Inferno elimination this week, and Bones was just it's just so easy to completely run all the way around and show up behind them. So some teams will just keep the habits up, and recognizing that they're doing that is a big thing.
Yeah, I talked about this in one of my breakdown videos that I've been doing on YouTube where I just analyze the Trials game. But openings are such a huge impact on the game in the long term, and you don't think about it because you're just starting, you're going to go shoot, hopefully don't die, reset, do the next round. But almost every map has a very obvious opening move that, like Swain is just saying, Asylum, the opening move is to go up top and play in the middle. And it's a good map control. It's a good spot to dominate. But if you do it 5 times in a row and it doesn't work every time, then you're not making the right move. You want to mix up the openings. Widow's Court. I was playing with a friend a while back, and a good friend of mine who I can actually yell at a little bit. And I was like, man, I swear to God, if you die at the bottom of the stairs a 4th round in a row, you know what I'm going to tell you. And, you get into those habits and you think, well, I know a lot of people snipe from there. I know where the rat lanes are. I bet he's going to go up top there. Oh, I didn't get it. It just happens. And it's a really tough habit to break. But if you can think new opening, or let's go left this time, right at the start, you got to do it right when you spawn. You just say, go this way, just switch it up. Because if you're silent and you just open the round without any callouts or without any plan, it's exactly what everyone's going to do. If I say nothing, we all run to the known spots, we get in those sniper duels, and that's what happens. But if we do a call out and we come up with a plan, we mix it up a little bit, but we're also working together, and we can really surprise a team with a 3v2 advantage because they're just doing the same thing while we mix it up. And that's all you need to get flawless.
I think one thing as well to consider is that, when you play a Trials game, you're going to get spawned consistently on one side. And so what makes sense, Widow's Court being a good example, what makes sense if you are spawning at the top is going to be completely different from when you're at the bottom. Sometimes there's a more clear advantage. Sometimes it's a little bit more balanced. But sort of knowing what works best for the other side that's spawning can help you kind of make some different decisions when you're trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to respond to that? Where do they want us to be? And what would be an inconvenient place for us to show up if, from their point of view, knowing where they're going to be setting up?
Yeah, what would be an inconvenient truth for them?
I feel like it's been so long since we've talked about this, but there's something you can do when you are the one that's down too. When you get killed first, you have this great advantage of the whole entire area around you and your teammates. And to be able to tell them and give call outs and give, accurate descriptions of where your enemy is, because you get that little, red outline of the guy that killed you. And as long as that guy's still alive, you have a pretty good sense of where they're moving and what part of the map they're on. So being useful, don't get discouraged if you die. You're still useful to your team.
When you're dead, you're now an auctioneer. He's going left.
I got one over there.
He's going out over that side. He's going at a C flag on the A flag for the flank. He's going to flank you right there, and he killed you.
Yeah. Well, a part of that is easy to forget about is that you can change cameras. You're not stuck on your dead ghost. Maybe you died in a place where that's a convenient vantage point. But just literally being able to watch one of your fellow Guardians' backs so they can focus on what's in front of them and you can help them read the radar for anything that's showing up behind them. You really, depending on where they are and where you died, you can get a pretty comprehensive view of the map sometimes. You just got to keep cycling through those different camera views.
Yeah, and most of our advice on this show, I feel like, comes from game knowledge, comes from map knowledge, using a sniper rifle in the best, most efficient way. But if you're playing a lot of Trials, you know that stuff at this point. You figured it out just by feeling it out. And a lot of players just, learn most of the skills and abilities by doing it. But if you're still struggling to go to the Lighthouse, then you got to start looking at those long-term habits, those intangibles. What's my mood going into this? Like Birds was saying, just who am I playing with? And I don't want to say can't play with your friends, go find someone better. That's not at all what I'm trying to say, but just doing a run here or there, mixing it up, doing an LFG, hitting up a buddy on your friends list and mixing it up. You get a different perspective, you get different call outs, you learn something, and then when you go back with your best friends and you guys, all right, let's do it. You've got new ideas, new openings, new call outs, all that sort of thing. Playing with other people can really, really up your game and break you out of some long-time habits that you've just been unaware of for so long.
I feel like we see that question a lot. Me and my two friends have been playing Trials every week and, we just got to 5 wins, but we're really stuck. And, I think you can really build up a relationship with a group of people and sort of develop some of those psychic links over time playing with them. But you're not married to them. There's lots and lots of people that you can play with. And, even if you're playing with people who aren't necessarily as good, just having an opportunity to sort of fit into different niches together, different niches, different noosh, little nosh.
Niche. That's nice.
Nice.
Just for example, if you play with two people who always shotgun and you are always the sniper, just playing with other snipers, for example, might free you up to try some different approaches, maybe switch up your secondary. Or, you play with someone who takes on the captain role and all of a sudden you're playing with 2 new people who are quiet and you get to try it out a little bit. It can, like Bones, like you say, it can give you it can just give you a different view into all the different ways a trials ticket can go down.
There's actually another thing that that has been brought up to me in some one-on-one conversations when I'm trying to give some trials help. And it sucks to say, and we haven't said it in a while because it's kind of our mantra at this point, which is respect the meta. Don't put arbitrary laws upon your game, like morally I cannot use this gun because it is overused or whatever. Yeah, I might have to just give some tough love here and some harsh criticism, but if you're just so stuck on a gun and you know it's not the best, or you think, I don't want to use the last word because everyone is, you are going to put yourself at a disadvantage, and it might work up to 5 games. I love playing with different guns all over the place for those first couple games. But when it is go time, when I want to get to the lighthouse or I'm helping someone get to the lighthouse, I am not going to ruin their chances by putting on a fusion rifle and first curse in game 9. I won't do it. And, it's hard, but if you're using a sidearm for the whole game, like I know people love sidearms, and if you're in sidearms in Clash, that's awesome. But I would never put a sidearm on because I can't res kill. It's just, you gotta just suck it up and say, fine, I'll use the meta this time. And, it sucks. I get it. I get you want to use your favorite guns. I love that people are attached to certain weapons. I love being attached to icebreaker and stuff like that, but I can't use an icebreaker in game 9. It's just not going to happen. So you got to just say, look, do we want to win? Let's just win this one and do what you got to do.
That's not to say that there aren't some incredibly skilled players who can go to the lighthouse using lots of different loadouts.
Oh, certainly.
But for most of us, especially when you get to those later tickets, a lot of encounters end with a single bullet. You're having a shootout and you're just one bullet away from between winning or losing that encounter. And if you don't have that gift of perfect gun skill, perfect aim, perfect positioning, perfect communication, or you haven't spent the time to really reach that level, you need every advantage that you can. And if that happens to be last word and 1,000-yard stare and firebolt grenades, I guess you have to ask what's important. Do you want to be stuck at 5 wins, or do you want to use every possible advantage that you have to get to the lighthouse?
Because there's people that are stopping you from getting to the lighthouse, and the people that ruin my day in the lighthouse, they're not messing around. They're using what they need to win, and that's just how it is up there in game 9. I lose plenty of them. I do, but not to goofing around with weird stuff. Well, sometimes they're really good people in this game. It's annoying.
Yeah. Stop being so good.
That's a tricky thing about trials, is that a lot of the people you go up against have been playing Destiny for a very long time. They're really good at it now. They've been playing trials for a long time. It is tough to be getting started in trials. It doesn't mean that you can't get there, but as you probably know, that's going to be what you're up against.
Yeah. That kind of circles back to where we started, where I was saying sometimes a run just isn't going to be your run. Sometimes you go up against a popular streamer doing their carries on Mondays, and it's just like, haha, matchmaking, you got me again. It just happens. And learn from those games. Don't quit. Don't just say, it's crafty, we're done. Don't give up kills or run off the side of the map. Learn from it. See what they do. I've improved my game just by running into Hovey and the Manigator. I became a better striker after I got trounced by Manigator's Juggernaut. I was like, whoa, okay, that's how you use it. It's a learning moment. I reset my card. You go flawless right after. You just got to learn from those. And
like we said, some of the best lose. So be the one that takes that mercy off their ticket.
Yeah. Put up a fight.
I think about Bones sort of you talking about your progression of Last Guardian standing. And I know it's, when all of a sudden you see those yellow words flash up, there's definitely, there can be a thing in your head that says like, well, you're probably not going to do it. You're going to let them charge up their supers as they chase you down, and you'll get the next one. You don't need to win every single round. But if you zoom out a little bit and you think, okay, it's not about just this one round or this one match or this one ticket. It's about this game I like to play and that I want to get better at. It's not about this attempt to go to the Lighthouse, but every attempt I'm going to make from here on to go to the Lighthouse. You can really use it as an opportunity. I mean, and you see people like Ramblin' who go out of their way to construct that opportunity over and over without any thought of going to the Lighthouse with it, just to experience that situation. It's hard. I don't know how to do it, but just learning to be in that situation and not immediately give up is a skill in itself.
I'm going to be honest. I don't want to be gross here, but being the last Guardian standing is kind of a turn on for me.
That's why I die so many times.
I can hear like your breathing get really, really heavy. I can tell your pupils are dilating. It's a little uncomfortable, to be honest. But hey, everyone's got their things.
I want to win, man.
Yeah.
And hey, you got new content coming out. We are going to be diving into the PvE world again for sure. But in the meantime, no better time to just play some trials. Everyone's hyped. There's going to be people online. There's going to be plenty of people out there that want to give you some pointers and help you out. And there's plenty of people out there that you might become friends with after a trials run, because that Lighthouse bond that you can gain with someone saying like, look guys, we did it, high five, you dance around in the Lighthouse. It's awesome. It's a great feeling. And it will create some friendships for you for sure. So keep it up.
Keep at it. Keep it up. Keep on it. Get it on. Get it off.
Ew.
Stop.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm going with this. It just gets worse and worse and worse. Hey, I'm looking at these. I'm looking at these pictures from the TWAB. Do you guys see the Sunbreaker? He's got a mark on, and it says Boor Sieve. What does that say?
Wait, where?
It's the
Sunbreaker.
Sunbreaker. It's one of those pictures.
Oh.
He's fighting. You see his back to him. Yeah, and what's it's sort of like a new color scheme. Do you think sort of Taken color scheme? Are we getting a Taken vendor? What is going on?
Well, it looks like an Omelon logo, but it isn't.
Yeah, maybe it's another faction. Faction or
I
another.
have a
gun.
zoomed in picture of a Titan butt on my phone right now.
You're right. Really, just going deep on it.
Man,
maybe
Malak looks
maybe
cool.
Eris Morin will start selling something decent.
Raisins.
Maybe that raisins.
Give me more
That's
raisins.
the Raisins faction.
Just leave the candy bowl out, Eris. I don't even want to talk to you. Weird lady hanging out the stairs, talking to everyone who runs past her.
It is perfect that she's under the stairs now.
Yes, my pretty.
All right, guys, before we get into speculation zone, we don't want that to happen.
Well, it's never good when birds are speculating.
It's never good.
Just off the rails. I'm speculating about Titan apparel now. It's truly desperate.
Yeah, we can't wait. We are very excited for new stuff to coming out. Next week, we'll be talking about the new gear. Hopefully, we have some more weapons to analyze way too hard with only one image of them on the internet and no actual stats. But we will do it for you and for us because we enjoy that quite so. And then the week after that, we've got the Sandbox Crucible updates, and we'll be going ham on it. So stay tuned.
Can't wait.
Listen to Crucible Radio, the podcast for all things Destiny PvP. I don't think we've ever said that at the end of the show.
Groundbreaking. That's something you do on episode 41.
Oh, episode 41. Here we are. We're making callback jokes. We've got full circle segments. We are just nailing it. It's all downhill from here, guys.
Woo!
Well, guys, as always, you could find us
Yeah!
on the space internet. They have more jokes that we've been doing forever.
Inside jokes.
And it's at Crucible Radio. Follow us on YouTube, Crucible Radio. You can see that sick montage.
Hey, do you guys think that they'll put any new pulse rifles into the game?
Kermit!
Yo, Kermit, you really roll that pulse rifle?
I'm really hoping they revert all the balances they've done and bring us that back to 2.0 so I can use Nerwin's Mercy again.
I love Hawksaw. It's the best.
Miss Piggy's the best.
Don't you baiting birds.
Nope. Once was enough. Go back and listen to it.
Also,
Dig it out.
Kermit, your voice has sounded weirder and weirder the longer you're an unwanted guest on this show.
She shows up.
I need to go to bed.
Yeah. Enough. Till next week, guys.
It's not that I don't love you, this is something I'm not used to. Please forgive me for the things I never said. Well, you could find out.
Music this week comes from Johnny Automatic, hailing from Chicago, Illinois. Check him out. It's facebook.com/Johnny Automatic Rock. If you're a musician and would like to hear your music featured on Crucible Radio, send us an email. It's crucibleradio@gmail.com.
It's I don't think I can talk to you. I don't think I'd ever do the things she said. Goodbye's always